as I have been meditating the last, I'm always in meditation. Even when I'm in the grocery store, my husband doesn't like me to drive the shopping cart because I've been usually in meditation, and there's no telling where I'm going to end up at. He has to be right there with me. But anyway, I feel like that the Lord has given me a word for this brand new season that we are in. We are in the year now, January 3rd of 2018. That is an incredible number. You know, I'm not going to go all into the numerology stuff and whatever. God likes numbers, okay? And you'll see that all through the Word. There are different times that He gave specific dates, times, because He's into numbers. But He's also into seasons. And so we have to understand the season that we are in. And the Lord has really placed in my spirit, just even today, I've been doing some prophetic words, fulfilling some prophetic words requests that have come in. And I kept hearing in my spirit, expect. And okay, Lord, exactly what are you saying? Now, I feel like I know what He's been telling me over the last few months. And there's been different things that were happening in 2017 that when that would occur, I felt like we had hit a marker. And this really started back in 2015. So this place that we're in right now, God has been preparing it over the past 2 years. And we are now, and it's so incredible to me. Actually, now we're going on into the 3rd year. But we are in a time now, and this is what the Lord is saying to me, and He wanted me to share it with all of you, is that this is a time for you to expect Him to do and fulfill what He has placed in your heart. Each one of us have things that God we feel like God has promised to us, that He has said to us, and this is now the time when we are to expect it to come to pass. We have been in travail. We have been in great warfare. We have just been, these last few years have been really, really, really intense. And this has been going on for the last 7-8 years. There has been extreme warfare. And the last 2 years, the last year, the last few months, for some has just been almost unbearable. And yet you kept pushing through. You kept pushing through like a woman giving birth. You didn't feel like it, you didn't want to, but you couldn't stop it. You were in such a place of feeling such pressure that you couldn't stop it. You wanted to because it was really, really hard. But the Father says now, this is a time to expect for me to do exactly what I have said I'm going to do. Because this is a time of great manifestation. From this time on, the Lord spoke to me back at the end of August of last year. And He said, when you hit September, things are going to be greatly accelerated. They're going to pick up warp speed. And these last 4 months, September, October, November, December, I don't know where they went. They came and they gone, and here we are now, the 3rd day of January 2018. And the Lord also spoke to me just a few weeks ago. When you hit January the 1st, you will be released into warp speed. And that's what I heard. And everything is greatly accelerated. Everything's been, the pace, the speed, everything is picked up. Now, for many of you, you are really, the road that you've been on has come to an end. That road that you've been traveling has come to an end. And you're standing, there's not you're not standing at a blank page and not knowing which way to go. You're standing at a mountain, and you feel like you can't get through it. But my friend, this is the time, and I'm hearing this so clear in my spirit. Expect me to do what I have said. Expect me. Put a demand on what I have said by expecting me to do exactly what I said. And it will be impossible. If the things that are burning in your heart are not going to require God 100%, and you can do them yourself, then I promise you that's not something that God placed within your heart. Because if you can accomplish it yourself, then go do it. But if what is burning in your heart is so impossible, unless God does it, then you know that's Him. That's a birthing that He's doing. He put within you. And this is the time when these things are going to come to pass. But we have to expect Him to do exactly what He has said. And this is the time, from this point forward, when we're going to start seeing manifestation, because these last 2 years, last 2.5 years, God has been setting everything in place physically to perform the absolutely unprecedented events of Him in our personal lives and in our corporate lives. So whether it's because what's happening is that God is moving corporately, and when He moves corporately, it affects everybody. When He moves personally, then what affects you will affect a few people, but it will not have the impact that what happens when God moves corporately. Everybody's affected. And this is a season when God is moving corporately, because He has been moving privately in His children. All of this time, the things that God has placed in your heart, is He's only been whispering it to you. And you may have a friend or two that understand what's burning in your heart. But for the majority, you're in it by yourself. Maybe it's you and your spouse, or you may have a close friend, or maybe a sibling that is understanding what you're seeing, and they're in agreement with what you're seeing. But overall, God has been speaking privately to you. But now He's going to start doing corporately, which means it's going to be publicly seen what He has been whispering to you in the privacy of your closet, your intimate relationship with the Father. He's been whispering to your spirit what He was going to do. Now, what He's been saying to you in private is going to be publicly seen, and it will be publicly manifested. So my friends, this is a time for us to begin to expect. Father, stop praying about it and begin to expect it, and to be done exactly the way He wants it, when He wants it, how He wants it. But it will come to pass because the Father wants it. If He said it, it's because that's what He wants. And so today, I bring to you the word of the Lord that He has said for me to release. Tell my people to expect me to do what only I can do. I have been preparing you. All of this travailing that you've been going through, all of this heartache and this sorrow and this suffering and thank God I cannot take another step. And yet He kept pushing you forward, and you couldn't get off. You know, if you could find a way to have gotten off, you probably would have. I would have. If I could have found a stop button somewhere, I could have got off. And just yesterday, I was talking with some different people that are in some tremendous times of difficulty. And it came into my spirit, you don't need a break. You want a breakthrough. And so, my friends, we don't need a break. I was talking to someone last night, and they said, I just need a break. I just need a break. And immediately I said, no, you don't need a break. You need a breakthrough. And so this is what's going to happen. God and only God is going to break through. And it will absolutely be unprecedented. But we have to be expecting. And yes, it's been tough in these last few years. And it seems like you've had many disappointments of stop and go. You thought, okay, this is it. And then something would happen and it would seem like it'd knock you back again. But I am saying to you now, this is the time. There will be no more delays. There's no more, quote, hiccups. And there's no more interferences. Because our eyes are on God. And what God has said, what He's placed in your hearts, only He can do. This is the time when the barren woman will have more children than she that has a husband. And there's been many interpretations over that, but this is the interpretation that I have over that scripture. Then she who has a husband, which means that which can come through the natural way of doing things. But God said, it's going to come from me. And I will use your barrenness, your inability to do these things. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do far more than what you could ever do on your own or through any normal channels. So my friends, this is a time to be excited. And I don't care if you're on your sick bed. We've had many people that have gone home in these last few months and whatever. And you think, well, they didn't get their answer. They didn't need the answer here on earth, because what they got, they graduated. And oh my goodness, are they having a party in heaven? They are having a party. And my husband and I personally have lost some very, 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 very close family members over these last few months. But they are rejoicing. I had a vision of one of them. He was jumping up, clicking his heels. And, I know that individual, and they physically were not able to jump up anything, much less to be able to jump up high enough to click their heels together. But I saw that after they had already gone home. And my friends, if they've gone home, it was their time. That's where we're all going. That's where we want to be. But we're still here. And I'm telling you, you got a destiny to walk out. So expect, because this is the time when you're going to start seeing the impossible become done. And it will manifest to you. Thus saith the Lord to you.